And it's official. Where's George? What just happened? It's fine. It's official. We started the call. It's on and popping, and I'm excited to hear your ahas and your takeaways from day 2 of the GPS Summit. And it's exciting. So make sure you guys have pen and paper out, because someone else might have caught a nugget that you didn't, or they might have interpreted something in a different way that can also help you. So please share. And then he's back.
I need my ice for my water.
Okay.
It's crazy. I can drink like literally half a gallon sitting here on our calls. Just oral fixation, I guess. Used to be a smoker. Don't smoke ever. You can get away from it. All right. We take care of housekeeping, Tiffany. That's awesome. Tomorrow, for everybody, we're going to repeat this. Tiff, do me a favor, drop this in the chat for us, please, if you would. The Zoom link for the call tomorrow, or for the Zoom call, it is from 9 a.m. until noon. There is some documents you'll need for those. Tiffany, can we put those documents into the daily downloads, as well as we cannot?
I cannot, because it is more than one document, and in daily download, I can only put one document, but I can drop the drive link in here for you.
We can also do the link in the daily download too.
Okay, and okay, then yes,
as opposed to selecting a document, you could select a website, and that'll work as well. I want to make sure y'all have this. It's 9 o'clock to noon. It is a longer class or a longer workshop. This is about your business, your 2022 business. This is when you need to plan it, get it started. An amazing class. They charge like ridiculous amounts of money at another brokerage. I'm not going to mention Keller Williams' name for this. Tom teaches it regularly, and it is for us. I strongly encourage you to participate. What we're hitting on today is some of the other speakers that were at the summit, and kind of the ahas. I'm going to challenge everybody to put your face on if you possibly can. I get so much more energy from seeing y'all. And also to jump in, raise your hand, just interrupt, say, hey, listen, I want to throw something out there. Your input to what happened at the summit is so incredibly vital. So if you had an epiphany or something going on like that, please let us know. Again, here's the topics where we're going to go, or we're going to go. We're going to start with Shannon Pyatt. We're going to go to Fred DeFalco, Tina Valiant, Cliff Freeman, Steve Powers, Elizabeth Riley, Jaime Resendez, and then we'll finish up with Brent Gove. All right. That being said, Shannon came up there and he had a conversation. Anybody remember? If you did, great. Jump in. Any thoughts, any feedback on Shannon's 15 to 20 minutes talking about his challenges he had? Did that anything resonate?
Yeah, George. I mean, one of the things I thought of that could happen to any one of us, at any time. This is a pandemic, so of course maybe it was more likely. But I guess Deep had a car accident a little while back that you were talking about on this, call, and it could happen to any of us that it would shut down. So what are we doing on the day-to-day to build that security for when stuff like that happens? Because it will, whether it's a week, whether it's 6 months, whatever Shannon had, it could happen. And because this business projects so far into the future, a week or two down means that business in the future could be hindered. So definitely something to concentrate on in the forefront.
I love that. And I, taking what you said, Will, I didn't just apply that to like what we have as an opportunity in our business model, where we can literally be receive the same benefit as brokers for doing the job without the headache and without the financial burden and responsibility. But it also resonated me to other streams of income, because long-term, I'm looking at, 50 or 60 of us on the call, every one of us has a desire for security. That's a human basic thing. I love the cat. Hello, kitty. Walking across the screen. That's awesome. Way to go, Ms. Ortez. Love your kitten. Very cool. We all have a desire for security, and we have an opportunity with the company we're with, but it doesn't negate the concept of something that Yogi's brilliant at. We're not going to have him go into it at this point, but he has multiple streams of income. He said, I want to make sure my family is safe. And you guys, we all need to think that way, because at any given time, something can happen. And that's what Shannon was really piggybacking on. Hey, Scott, you go for it, sir.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, just jump on that as well. It really made me think about my why and what's happening in my own life and what that looks like, and what that looks like the day that you never do another transaction. And it just made the rest of the model and being active in the rest of the model that much more important to my life, my business, my family, my future, all of the above.
Outstanding. Love it, Scott. Thank you very much for participating. I appreciate that. Tell the little man we say hi. I'm sure he's climbing all over you. This is important for everybody out there. In everything you do, it is going to be time on task over time. You can't just say, oh, well, all of a sudden I want multiple streams. It's about putting one foot in front of the other. It's about planning for what your objective is going to be. It's about taking actionable steps. This is a wonderful segue into tomorrow's 9 a.m. to noon class that Tom is putting on. You need to be involved in this class for sure. Please get the downloads, be ready for it. If you're not going to be at the class physically, you want to be on there on Zoom, and just block it off. It's critical. Folks, time on task over time and having a clear roadmap of what it looks like. I know where I want to be in 3 years. Do you? I hope you do. Hope you do. But it's so important that you have an idea of that, because you can't get to a goal you're not sure of. And we talked about this, Steve Powers, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Reverse engineering your goals. What is your goal? And then go backwards. And what are the steps that have to happen on specific days or specific weeks or months or years to get there? You will find that over the course of a year, you'll look back and you're like, wow, I didn't accomplish as much as I want, but I got a lot more than I thought I would have. And over 3 years, you're like, holy cow, I accomplished so much more than I ever dreamed I could. It takes time and everything ramps up. And that's what happened with Shannon. Shannon and I have known each other for 3 or 4 years. He didn't have that security 3 years ago. In fact, he had very, very little. It's a couple $1,000s a month at most. And it eventually over time, because he put effort into it, time on task over time, 5 favorite words, he got to a point where, thank heavens, it was security for him. I want you all to have different levels of security as well, obviously, from what we have as an opportunity here, but also consider looking around for investment properties, for stock ideas if you want them. Your call, but that was what I got from Shannon. Let's jump forward a bit and let's go to the next day. This is now the Friday session. We opened it up with The Godfather. I haven't seen him forever because he was away for a while. Any feedbacks, any ahas with Mr. Fred DeFalco? He's not on the call, by the way, so you're safe.
Hey, George.
Yeah, come.
I think one of the things that stood out to me most was when he put everybody, when he mentioned categories. Okay, are you 1 through 4? Are you 4 through 7? Are you a 10? And it was kind of interesting to see the 1s through 3s or 4s not as confident as the 4s through 6s or the 9s or the 10s. And then you seen the ones who were in the 9 or 10 that had this sense of, when you see them, of this confidence within, right? I'm here, I'm all good, right? But the analogy that it was really getting at is we've been trained to think we're in certain categories, right? So how do we change our thinking and reprogram our thinking to say we are worthy and we are great and we can do better? That exercise right there was a huge eye opener for me, because I was thinking, oh, I'm right here and I can't wait to get to that part or that point, but I will be. So don't train your brain to think that you're less than or you're in a certain category. You have the ability to be wherever you want to be and hold your shoulders up high. So that was a huge thing for me.
I was very impressed with the entire thing. Now, The Godfather is coming back. He's going to be teaching a class next week. I'm super excited. We'll let you all know about that. That was great to have Fred out there and have him back in the energy. He was helping his family for a long time. Anybody else have anything on Fred that really stuck out?
Yeah, he had one quote, George, at the end. It was, "Success is the artful management of failures and setbacks." You know, we're all going to have those. throughout our lives. And I've always said as a coach, you never learn from a 20-point win. I mean, you just don't. You learn from getting your butt kicked by 20. You learn from your failures. You learn from your setbacks. And I think, just kind of going back on Stan, his setback with his health and the friends and family that passed in that year, what did he learn? How did he successfully manage all that pain, all that discomfort, all that, misery that he went through to come out on the other side, and I think that, that the artful management of failures and setbacks.
Well, I absolutely agree with that. Thanks very much, Red. I appreciate your input on there. Anybody else with something on The Godfather?
George, can I step in?
Yeah, of course, Steve.
What Tom said was very clear, like how he put those numbers in. We as individuals put that in our head that I'm stuck on that range. I was at 7, but if somebody else will look at me and look at what I've done, what I've achieved, might think I'm already at 12. But it's the determination that we individuals do that to each other. And since he's been on the calls, I've been doing this for almost 2.5 years. Tom does an amazing job when it comes to coaching with a lot of things, and Fred always has a very different approach to him. It's all about soul. It's all about us, that as humans we're not aware that we need to focus on that. That's the most important part. It's the process. Accept the process, go through the process, even if it's happy, sad, emotionally bad, tough, whatever it is. We as humans have kind of determined that, oh, this is not the way I'm going to react to it. I'm going to block it off. It's just going to go away. It'll just complete by itself. We just don't realize it. I mean, I've been working on myself for, almost 7 years, and I've realized things that I've been holding back since my childhood that I had no idea. And that's holding me back in a lot of different levels in my life. And when Fred talks about these kind of events, when you hits your core self, really makes you think how many other things we're holding back, how many other things we're not processing. And it really doesn't matter. It's like, thank you was a kind of a thing that I would always blow it off. I'm like, oh, everybody say, oh, thank you for doing this. I'm like, yeah. I never knew how to process that. And since I've changed that mindset, changed to accept somebody's thank you or something I did for somebody, really made me, appreciate more and do more in life. It's literally in the last 7 years, and I work at it every day. And it's literally changed my, way of looking at things day to day, every minute by minute. I still have his card in front of me. Do I want to experience, good or bad today? Every time I have it, I get off the track, I look at that card in front of me. His Miracle Mind book that I don't read it as often. I need to. I've already done it twice, but really helps me.
Love it. So there's while you're talking through this, and we're talking about Fred, and there's a difference between Tom and Fred and myself and Tony and everybody else that's involved in this thing. And what this is kind of a melting pot. It's a great analysis of what the United States is supposed to be, where we all come together and we all provide more value than we do individually possess, that we can mix these up. And there's going to be things that resonate with you, and that's awesome. And there's certain things in Deep, I think you'll probably attest to this. Abrams, you're in front of me, so I'm going to call you out, bro. But there's something where it's like, you're like, oh, dude, I needed to hear that today. You know what I mean? Where you get that charge from something. And that's why we're here. That's why all of us are here. We're looking for these nuggets. And when something clicks with you, take that gift and run with it, because this is about progressive steps towards your personal goals. And for everybody on the call, y'all get that. The only thing that matters is you. You're the entire reason we're all here. Every one of you, your goals are the critical energy. That's what's got to be reached. And that's why we put on the summit. That's why we do these. You can get anywhere you want to do. I ask you when you come onto these to first participate, always put your face on, because you guys are great to see. I love seeing smiley faces, but most importantly, take selfishly things that apply to you, that are going to make you better. And in everything you do in life, that's something that Fred talks about. How do we perceive? How do we accept? I love it. I am so glad he's back. He's healthy. He's safe. His family's good. We get more of them. I'm going to move on because we've got, obviously I want to make sure I get through everybody today. What'd y'all think of Tina Valiant? Anybody got any thoughts on Tina and her task tension? Excuse me. Really? Wow. All right.
Oh, here's the thing.
I'm coming.
I was using this analogy yesterday when Lizette called me with a top producing Coldwell Banker agent. And she's like, open houses are horrible. My daughter's going to be working with me. And I tell her that's the best way to get clients, but she has to follow up. They'll never earn your trust right away, blah, 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 blah. And I said, you know what? There's a great class coming up. And what she taught us was when you get face-to-face with somebody 3 different times, she goes, yeah, but then you got to meet them 2 more times after the open house. I said, no. What she did was it made a lot of sense psychology-wise.
Mhm.
Hey, thank you for coming in. Give them a clipboard for a survey. Go back to them, right? It's that whole ladder of bringing the ball down and then building the trust up, right? So when I told her that, she goes, holy cow, I want to learn more. You guys are, she was blown away from, I don't know, 10-minute conversation. And all I did was talk about what Tina did on that stage in relation to getting face-to-face with somebody 3 different times. That was a huge aha. That was massive, massive value for me in delivering to others.
This is the entire thing filled out, and don't even take a picture of it because you actually have to go to finish the class. It doesn't make any sense if you don't do it. I was in Phoenix. I flew out to Phoenix because I heard about it and I wanted to make sure I had a chance to participate in it. The task tension and bringing them down in their popcorn, and when they finally look at each other, and it's crazy. The psychology of that and how, let me tell you the story so you create the relationship. Give them the clipboard. Shameless plug right here. 2 shameless plugs. First, attend her class. Oh my God, attend her class. This is on October 13th and 14th, 15th, somewhere in there. We'll send it out for you. It's like $99, totally worth it. 2 days. Wicked.
Just go to her page. She's got it published out there. It's $99 for 2 days.
Tina Valiant.
I'm going to go ahead.
It's tinavaliant.com. You can go there as well. We'll have it all over the place because I'm going to be there. It's definitely worth it. You want this for psychological purposes as well. We get into disc profiles, how to really know who somebody is, a full deep dive into the disc. It was one of the best classes I've ever taken in my life. And I flew to Phoenix to take it. And then that's how we started talking in relation. Y'all need to be there at that one. Second shameless plug is we're going to put into action exactly what Tina talked about at the Tyrannosaurus Rex Mega Open House, which is on the 2nd of October. We have our sprint this morning or today at noon, which is our first build. We have another one and then another one and then the open house. Everybody here is invited. If you're in the Orlando area, it'll be real easy to get here. If you're not, you might want to drive. This is going to be pretty awesome. We are filming it though, so we'll have it all videotaped, but you're going to see in action what she did in those first couple, and we'll be able to give you some real feedback on how well it works too. I'm really excited about it. This is the guy that Tina worked off of, and she does a lot of classes on this. I was blown away. Anybody else get something from Tina?
Yeah, George, just read again. Hey, 2 things she talked about. It was just psychological. With the seller, you talk about the property to get them to disassociate, with the house. But with the buyers, you talk about it as the home. I thought that was a neat, just psychological thing. I was like,
there's, how we just talked about nuggets a couple seconds ago, Fred, where I was like, we want to, if you get that nugget, that's some of the things that that's just speak and how we should speak. I love that. And I actually missed it. I didn't miss it this time. I just wrote that down. Seller property, buyer home. There's something in there. I don't know if she brought it up. Do y'all remember this one where you go in? Please don't show somebody the kitchen. They know what a kitchen is. If you're going to show them a kitchen, walk in and do it intelligently and go, hi, this is a kitchen. And in that thing over there, that's where you put food. I mean, if you're going to go stupid, go big stupid. All right. Don't go little stupid. I want you to blow this up. How about if you say, listen, I want you guys to get a feel for the home. I'm going to take a look at some things that are more mechanical and do my side of the work. Why not let them walk around a little bit and circle back and then ask some questions? Sorry, I'm off on a rant, but it was along the same lines. with the disassociation. Robert, what do you got, Mr. Abram?
Yeah, a lot of times when I end up showing homes, people don't like to be cramped. They don't like, yeah, they can see what's inside the house, but ultimately I'll come off with a segue. I'll go, hey, not to sound too hippie-ish, but I want to make sure your energy feels good. Go ahead, check out the house. When I come back, if your energy's off, it's not the right house for you. They end up making the decision quicker as a no or quicker as a yes, saying, hey, we can see ourselves here. And more often than not, it really does work. And it gives them a little bit of laugh when you say, I'm not trying to be too hippie-ish.
I
Hey, George.
love that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Can I chime in for a second real quick?
Yeah, jump in, TJ.
One thing I love is how she painted a picture of the story of the house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when she tells her guests that there's something about this house that just irks me, I want to see if you guys can find it and come tell me when you're done. Because it kind of gets them engaging, kind of gets them thinking about the house even more.
That's it. That there, where there's something that's she says there's something that it's just off, and it just that it bugs me a little bit, and it gets them looking, but it also more than anything creates a conversation that's not about real estate, about, oh, you're trying to sell me. It's about it's a commonality. Great call. Real important point, TJ. Thank you. That's something we'll be using in a couple of weeks as well. For sake of time, let's move past. I'm going to jump past Cliff Freeman. I thought he was fantastic, but I want to make sure we hit what I think are going to be the big important ones. Ladies and gentlemen, we had Coach Steve Powers up there. Y'all remember Steve? He's the Mike Ferry coach, top coach Mike Ferry for about 20 years. Any thoughts, inputs on Mr. Steve Powers' time with us? Damn, I thought that'd be a hot one.
Oh man, I think it's just nobody wants to jump all over everyone, but
Jump
I'll
on,
step
man.
back
I'll
since I've already
direct.
commented.
Krista, you're coming up in just a second. We'll hit it.
No, I'll let her go. I've already commented, so I'll come back.
Krista, go for it, my friend.
I loved the fact that he said, you need to contact your sellers 3 times during the first week. I just did that because I had a listing that just went live, and I have done that. And I also, they're my friends, but every text that I now send them this week, it's your realtor, Krista Kohler, because I want that language in there. Not just, they're not just my friends, they are my clients. And I thought that was very powerful. And they've even commented, we're so grateful that you're our realtor, Krista Kohler. So I thought that was amazing. I never thought of that.
That was it was new to me too, Kristen. I'm like, okay, I am adopting that everywhere. In fact, my signature has to have that as well. Thanks, Krista, for sharing that. Great to see you as always. Patricia Diaz on the car, driving the kids. What you got?
Can you hear me, George?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yeah, that was one of the ones I was going to point out. Your realtor on everything. And the professional way to end a phone call. I think there's a lot to gain from that part of his talk, because just saying, telling people what to expect, what the next time they're going to hear from you, what to expect, and then also training them at the same time to send you those referrals, discuss the conversations they're having with other people with you that will lead to referrals later on at each phone call. So when it comes time when those conversations happen beyond the transaction and the closing, they'll think of you and they'll know what to do with that. So it'll be an automatic call Patricia.
Yeah,
your realtor.
Patricia Diaz. Yeah,
My realtor.
But wasn't it? I mean, it was so. Guys, for those that weren't at the summit, he's talking about this, and he's like, everything is hi. The phone call is, hey, Patricia, this is your realtor, George Philbeck, just giving you your update, your one of your 3 updates this week. And reinforcing constantly that the communication, because the biggest issue is communication. So he really ran to it. One of the things, well, I'll let everybody finish and I'll throw mine in. Patricia, thank you very much for the input. Scott, Jim Bomberger first, and Scott, you're second. And then I have not forgotten you, Will.
Yeah, I like the fact that he said if it's a married couple, you should call and contact each spouse with their own personal update.
Right.
It makes them both feel equally as important. And plus you get twice the referrals.
Awesome. Totally, totally true. Here's a true story. The listing that we're going to do the mega open house at, the T-Rex open house, I'm going to call it T-Rex just because it's fun. We're going to do T-Rex at. There were 3 agents that went there. I know 2 of the other I know the other 2 agents are both very good agents. They focused and keyed on the gentleman. The gentleman of the house was the very vocal one. That's just who he is. He's straightforward. He's kind of aggressive, high analytic. And his wife, Denise, just awesome. But we focused on both of them. He'd ask the questions, we'd answer to both. We'd ask her input. The reason we won the listing was not because of performance or anything else, because these are all very good agents. So we're competing in the same arena. It really wasn't an unfair match in any way. It's because we focused attention on both parties. Keep that as a nugget. If you're talking to a husband and wife, please, if you're the women, the natural tendency is to talk to the woman. If whoever's leading the conversation, talk to them, but don't exclude the other person. It can make a huge difference. They are both owners of the house. They are both involved in the decision-making process for most everything. So keep that in mind. Jim, thank you very much. Great input. Scott, what do you got, buddy?
It sounds like we all had a wake-up call with this, didn't we? But one of the things with follow-up was for me, and it was a kick in the face a little bit, was, if it's a random client or a new client or someone I meet through some other scenario in life, sure, I'm contacting them quite regularly. With friends, I'm probably not. I'm probably leaving them alone, and it's not as regular of occurrence, and it's not as on point, intentional, and scheduled. So that was something that I thought, oh wow, treat everyone strictly business, strictly real estate during that time, because during that time period, that's what you are. You're not really friends at that point. But that was a big one for me, for that.
Love
also with contacting both parties, both partners, which I generally, quite frankly, I never get, if it's a man or a woman, I never get the woman's phone number. I never get, if I'm even meeting people anywhere, so it's not natural. I mean, I'm a married guy. I don't grab the girl's contact information. So, to change that around a little bit as well.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Scott. I appreciate that. Will, you had something you wanted to add, I think.
Yeah, man. So 2 things that he said. I mean, first of all, good grief, man. I wrote so many things down that he said. He was amazing. But
yeah.
We kind of operate from I've fallen into the trap of operating from taking a client who I don't know and trying to make them a friend by the end of the transaction, so that they will give referrals and so that they'll be open to continued communication. And the idea that he talked about, I'm a professional real estate agent who is friendly, not their friend, was kind of eye-opening to me. And, as you're trying to make them your friend so you get referrals, well, that wisdom he dropped, that they give you your name as a referral to validate their decision to having used you in the first place. So it's really not about making friends during the transaction process. If that happens over the years or whatever, great. But you're a professional realtor who is friendly, and that was a huge point.
There's something to thanks, Will. Appreciate that. There's something to piggyback on that as well, guys. If you're having a conversation or you're selling a home for a friend, which happens, take the professional stance. You're like, wait, why do you call me and say you're realtor, George? George Philbeck. We've known each other for 20 years. It's because I've got a job to do, and our friendship doesn't enter into this. You get 100% of every effort I can give you. It's kind of like if your best friend is the president of the United States, no matter what happens, you still refer to him as Mr. President. It is a sign of respect. And I use that as an example because I watched The American President a couple of days ago. I thought it was a pretty good movie. But it's a sign of respect for the position. The position is they're our clients. So consider that when you're doing that with your friends, you can actually tell them, and I've done this before. So it's going to get a little weird for the next couple of weeks as we go through this process, because I refuse to treat you as a friend. I have to treat you as the most important client I've ever had. And there's a difference. A friend, you're going to give me forgivenesses. That's not an option. I am going to wow you with professionalism and great service. And I'm doing that because I don't want to get caught in the trap of just saying, oh, it's for a friend, so it'll be okay. I'm going to give you 1,000% of my effort. And they're like, dude, really? Yeah. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Okay. Will you do it for lower commission? No. Any other questions? Okay. Because your service level is still extraordinary. Sorry, had to do that one, throw that one in. All right. To finish this up, anything else with Steve? Cool. Let's jump. We're going to jump to, let's see, Steve Powers, Elizabeth. Now, Elizabeth Riley is just amazing. Her slides were all screwed up because she built them on the plane. Anybody see anything in Elizabeth, anything in there that resonated that you want to share with the crew? We want to definitely touch on that if we have an opportunity. Kind of afraid of that. She was so beating up herself. She goes, I failed everybody, my slides. And I said, Elizabeth, just talk.
No,
George. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Steph.
That's one thing that I noticed about her. She let go of her fear. And she, even though, you know, she switched it up at the last minute, she let go of her fear. And that's a big thing for us to do, you know, to just let go of fear. And she's totally killed it. She totally killed it. It's one thing.
Love it. Love it. Who else?
I have
Michelle.
something to
Yes,
say,
ma'am.
George. I thought she was actually one of the persons that I really felt that I liked the most. I got a chance to talk to her by herself. I thought she was amazing. I thought she killed it when she said she retired her husband. I was just like, well, what is he doing now? And she said, oh, he does lots of things now. But the fact that she moved out there and went door knocking and just like talked to all her neighbors. But the one thing that she said that I took away is she said, start saying no to good things. And I'm always doing so much and I need to stop being so social and be, you know, working. And actually I'm still working at the restaurant, which that's not an excuse. I just got out of the shower now. That's why I'm not on video because I'm trying to get ready to go to work there. But I got to start saying no. I just got to start saying no. So that resonated with me. Thank you.
Outstanding, Michelle. Thank you very, very much. Guys, the one thing that I heard clearly with Michelle, and I always key in on this kind of stuff, is if it's not on your schedule, it's not going to happen. Okay. Being on purpose, Michelle, is all about having it on your calendar and doing what your calendar says to do. Stop thinking about this and just do what you should do. Don't make your calendar, don't fill your schedule up the day of, fill your calendar up after. Or the day before, the week before. I fill in what I have to do each day the week before I get to that week, because that week I start getting opinionated. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I don't know. I could probably, I don't know, look for boats. No, I have purposeful things I have to work on and I've got to do that. And that's what I challenge everybody to do. Michelle, did you have something else to add, huh?
I was trying to take my hand down. I guess you do that.
I got you. You're all set. You're taking it away.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Jaime Resendez with YouTube. What'd y'all think?
I thought he was fantastic, and I'm actually he's on my schedule today.
Awesome.
He's on my
Awesome.
schedule to look at his YouTube and to his website and to really put some of that into action. And
Everybody subscribe, Terry, subscribe to his channel. Everybody else subscribe to his channel. Let's give him a hit. He's got some great stuff in there. Thank you very much, Terry. Anybody else, any good impact or input from Mr. Jaime?
Yes, he actually was one of my favorites, and he's my first mission, and I am so like excited to attack that, how I'm gonna improve my YouTube page with all his teachings. So yes, amazing. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's y'all know that he flew out. I said, Jaime, would you come and speak with us and just bring something where they can jump in, get started, get going. And he flew out there on his own dime. He bought his own ticket or his own hotel. I paid for his ticket. I wouldn't let him. He was like, I'll pay for my ticket too. So I'm trying to reimburse him for this because it was such an impactful thing. He goes, nope, I ain't taking your money. I got more from this than I have from anything else I've done. And I said, how come? And he talked of it. It was the culture. And you guys, all of you made such a difference. So I'm going to go out to Texas and help him out basically whenever he wants, because I like Texas. And that's just kind of the synergy. That's the energy. That's the culture that you all have. Thank you. And when we're done with the Jaime part, I will give you a little nugget to take with you. Anybody else with Jaime? Right on. So a
So I
lot
had
of the
already
feedback
been
we were
following
getting.
him.
Oh, go ahead, Natasha. I'm sorry, hon.
I had already been following him, but I actually like how he stays on top of KV Core. I follow him more for his KV Core knowledge. Like when the playbooks hit, he had already knew how to work it and it was still new in our KV Core. So I use him for KV Core and all his lead generation and marketing from that. But it was nice, very nice to see him in person and talk to him.
Yeah, yeah. He's genuine. You know what his biggest issue was? He goes, there was so much more. And I kept hearing from people that they wanted more. So with no further ado, Jaime will be on Wednesday, I believe. Tiffany, is it next Wednesday, I think? I'm pretty sure that's it. You'll know about it for sure. And his mission statement is to fill in the gaps, to provide even more. And he doesn't have just, in this case, 25 minutes. He's going to have an hour to really dive deep and give us a lot more on there. When that call comes, y'all need to be there if you have any desire for YouTube. Now, don't miss this point. Natasha brought up a phenomenal tip, and I hope y'all heard it. If you're working in KV Core, he already knows what you're doing, and there's YouTube videos that he's created about that. They're phenomenal. You probably want to consider subscribing to his channel. It's Jaime Resendez. Thank you, Tiffany, for spelling that properly. It's in there. I am definitely a follower of him. I think he's amazing. And for anybody, if you're a fan of YouTube, just the people I can see, if anybody here has a desire to make a YouTube channel, if you could and you had some good coaching, do you have a desire to do that? Anyone? No? All right, cool.
I have.
For the few
and
people, I see it. For the people that have their hand up, there's a special surprise coming for you when he's on this call. You want to make sure you're involved in it because this is the case. I will tell you a story about John Whelan. John Whelan is one of our business partners in South Florida. He was doing a YouTube channel. He said, I'm very committed to this. And it was in Delray Beach, and he was interviewing on YouTube. He's doing live interviews that he put up on YouTube, all about Delray Beach, the different businesses, different restaurants, different homes. He'd showcase it, and he put like 3 things in every single week, and it was Delray Beach something. I forgot the name of what the channel was or his playlist was. And here's the part that was amazingly cool. After about, 5 months or so, because it takes some time to build some momentum, people started calling him saying, we're interested in buying a home, or we're interested in selling a home. He said, great. Are you speaking to any others? He said, no, we want to work with you. We know you. They literally know you. Remember how Tina was talking about those 3 times? You get to meet him 3 times, face in front of him 3 times. Same thing. Now, Alana put up there TikTok. I absolutely love TikTok. I just got hooked on it, but I don't know how to work that as well. So I'm going to be moot on that one since I am not an expert, but I'm sure that there's a lot of possibility in there too. And I'm sure Jaime knows a lot about it as well. Folks.
Hey, George.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just getting into TikTok. I'm actually going to film my first TikTok with an out-of-state buyer who is seeing his property for the first time during his inspection period. So that's actually going to be my first TikTok video. So I'm working on it. I'm studying it, and I am excited to hopefully share what I learned with you guys as I go through this process.
Awesome. Please do. Comment from, who is it? Michael. Michael just put down there. He was on Jaime's YouTube site yesterday and learned so much from watching him. I think he's amazing, guys. He'll be here, I think, next Wednesday. Tiff, do you have that? Can you confirm that? Is it next Wednesday or the following?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. According to our call, he's on Wednesday, the 29th.
Wednesday, the 29th. Okay. We have Fred DeFalco on Wednesday, the 29th.
I know. You double booked it.
Okay, see what you can do about that. So if we push it back a week, would probably be the way to go. Have him do Wednesday, the October 6th. Let's see what we can do. Just push it. He'll be fine with it. I'm positive. Just want to make sure that you all get this, but it's Jaime, guys. Wow. Seriously, this is going to be awesome. All right. Last and most definitely not least, my dear friend. And now y'all remember, every one of you, he's a senior partner of yours, Brent Gove. He was on a couple of times on purpose. He finished up both days for us. Anybody get anything powerful from Mr. Brent Gove that they want to share?
That I need to find myself for myself. He has a James and I need a James. That's what I'm looking for.
You are James.
I know I am James, but James has got, I know James has his own James as well. So I'm looking for that talent to help leverage so that I can do the things that I want to do that make me happy.
Boy, am I going to dig into that one later. Y'all get that? It was so open-ended.
I can't be
Okay.
James, but I'll be your Robert if you want.
You can be what? There's a romantic movie here. So Brent, in my opinion, Brent was it was a good conversation. It was great from what he did, what he was saying, but it wasn't his best. I've seen him come off stronger. He is an incredible motivator. What he did, what he said to me very clearly is he was literally at a point where he had to do something. Did y'all hear clearly that his entire world kind of was crumbling? He didn't have any business. He had a lot of business, but he had such great expenses. His overhead was off the chart. He was going through rental property and a bankruptcy. And it was just, it wasn't the outside looked great, but the inside was a mess. He said, I've got to make this work. I'm going to do this. It looks like the best thing. All of us have already made that decision. And he put his foot down and he made phone calls. He did what he had to do for his personal business. Now, remember, this applies to the revenue share portion that Brent has been so successful at. God bless him, $1 million a month. I mean, you can't beat that. But it wasn't easy. It was hard work. And he has great relationships. For us, reasonable, let's say it's, it's only $10,000 or $15,000 a month after about 3 years. That's still pretty darn substantial. That's a good living. But I want you to consider that same thought process. Do you need to put your foot down on the pedal for your real estate business? Because that's what he was really talking about. Do you have the drive, the momentum, the get out of pain drive that has to be there for you to go, I'm not going to fail. I am going to do whatever it takes. And that's what he did. That was the real underlying story. He did whatever it took. All right,
George,
from the people I can see. Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
I had a couple of notes that I took from Brent's portion on the second day. The first one I came away with was build a vault to make your calls. I think that was really impactful because if you look at the video he has on his brentgove.com, it shows his vault and how they have the whiteboards up and all the names they have on the boards and who they're following up with. And then the second thing was list 40 agents this year, not 40 homes.
Mm-hmm.
And then his last thing that I really liked was this is an ego risk, not a capital risk. And then what was your passion project? So those are the notes I came away with from Brent's presentation.
That's awesome. that's it. 40 agents, 40 homes. Which one's going to benefit you long term? They both will, actually, quite honestly. But if you're going to list a property and you're going to work with a buyer, why wouldn't you list that buyer too, or that seller, or all the buyers that go see it? You can do both at the same time. The vault was pretty cool too. Yeah, I'm with you, Ali. That was amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that. All right. What do you think about doing another summit? Should we just throw that stuff out and not do it again? Or should we do one of these again, say maybe in March? Who's interested? Show of hands if you think that's a good idea. We should do it in March. That's not everybody, so we're out. Oh, there we go. Rob, you're in, so we're good. Daryl's in, we're good. Natasha, you don't even have a choice. Jess. Folks, Michelle's in too. It is important to me that if we're going to do this again, what I'm going to need from all of you, what I'm going to beg and ask and plead for from all of you, is that you grab the people around you and bring them. It's a lot of work putting these on, and it is totally worth it. Totally worth the 3 weeks of no sleep, because getting us together like that and the sharing of energy and ideas and masterminding and just having fun together is invaluable. For everybody that came, thank you so much. Thanks for making the commitment to all of us and for sharing your energy with us, because boy, you made a difference. Every single one of you. There are a lot of events that are going to be going on over the course of the next couple of months and over the course of the next year. It is our singular and purposeful commitment to make sure that you are well aware of what's coming, because folks, the energy you got here, you're going to get it a build, but it only works if you go. And the fun part is bring a posse. It's a lot of fun if 5, 6, 10, or 12 of us or 20 or 30 of us go as a group, because that's all of us. And we just kind of just take over. And that's the goal. We're going to be doing this in Las Vegas for EXP convention. I challenge you to be there. It's about your company. You want to learn about it for sure. Jason, you got something to add, or is your hand up just because you haven't got that put the hand down skill squared away yet? I think that's probably hand up. If you have anything, Jason, just jump in and interrupt me. You're more than welcome to, sir. I want you all to think about how you felt when you're walking out of there, the power that you have right now, the drive and the energy that you have, and the knowledge of all the support that's around you. And take that forward over the course of the next couple of weeks, months, and recharge whenever you can. It is so important. As important as your vacations, your recharge is important too. So tomorrow's Thursday, and we've got Tom's class tomorrow. Tiffany, if you would, please drop that in there one more time. We're going to leave that one right at the top. We'll talk a little bit more about Miss Tina's class or Miss Tina's event a couple weeks or next week. We'll get started pushing that out so y'all have access to that. Make sure we get everybody signed up. Tom's class to be on Zoom. It is from 9 o'clock till noon. Put your phone down. Turn your phone off. Focus this. Give us your attention. Put your camera on. Be at the class. Be present. It is your business, and that is the purpose for this. It's usually, I don't know, a $300 or $400 class that they charge with Keller Williams, and you get it for absolute free, taught by somebody who teaches this class all the time. It is for you. Please, please join us. There will not be a morning mastermind call tomorrow for obvious reasons. This is taking precedence because it's more important. Your business is the most important thing we can do. We'll be back again on Friday. And once again, we're going to stick Tom in the hot seat. We're going to let him run with that. Next week, we start off as a whole. We'll go right back to it. Let's give you, hold on a sec. Oh, this is so much fun. And he's even on the phone, or even on the call, so it makes work. Ollie's going to be leading off on Tuesday. I'm super excited about that. Godfather has Wednesday. Tom McNamara is leading the retraction call or the attraction call on Thursday. He's got a killer story with that. And of course, Tom Martin will be finishing up with Friday, which is more the coaching corner. Our goal is that every single day we bring you something amazing and awesome. There's a lot of amazing and awesome inside these calls with all of you. If you want to lead one or participate in one, take a small section of one, a 10-minute spot, love to have you. You have no idea how important you are. All right. Miss Tiffany.
Yes.
I'm going to turn this over to you. And Daryl finally got his ass back.